Welcome to Entrepreneurship with Veronica. What am I looking at? That's the microphone. Welcome to Entrepreneurship with Veronica. I'm Veronica, coach to LGBT entrepreneurs and creator of Self-Care Through Scaling. I just got back from a session with someone and we talked a lot about LinkedIn, and I wanted to share some of this information with you. I've had a lot of people ask recently, especially in the Fempreneur Forum, my online Facebook group, what do you do with LinkedIn in order to make it really work for you? There are magnificent ways to connect on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is kind of its own little monster, right? It's its own machine. It works differently, but also sort of the same. Yeah, so I'm going to give you two major recommendations for using LinkedIn in order to really superpower your business, especially if you have a local business. To begin with, you have to have your LinkedIn profile totally built out. So if you don't have your profile built out yet, do it and start asking for recommendations from other LinkedIn users. The best recommendations that you can get are those that you really know the person, you really worked alongside them, and you know they think positively of you. That's always a surefire thing for a positive recommendation. Once your profile is built out really well, that's when you can start using LinkedIn to the best of its ability. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, I always recommend that you actually have some knowledge of the person that you are connected with on LinkedIn. And here's why. On Facebook, it doesn't matter so much. If you really truly know the person, it's great to just network and see their news feeds, etc. How am I even explaining this? You want to already have personal connections with people on your LinkedIn, because if you go to an organization's profile, you can see who in your LinkedIn community is already connected to that organization. You can also do that with people. If you don't know somebody connected to that person or organization that you want to be connected to, it's going to be really hard to get in the door. If you have a first connection, somebody who you truly know or have met before or have some sort of social capital with to that organization or to that person, they can make an introduction and they will be glad to do it. Not only that, but it will be a really good introduction. So for example, say there's a conference that I want to speak at. There's a couple that I am pitching right now. I don't know anybody at that conference, but I know that if I know somebody at an organization or conference, I'm way more likely to get my foot in the door and to be thought of well, and maybe even get the keynote, right? So I look on my LinkedIn, who do I know who is connected to that conference already? And it will actually tell me who on my connections are truly connected to that conference. And I can ask them, hey, will you introduce me? Or will you take a look at my application or my email? Or did you see that come through? Or who's the decision maker? I can really figure out something from the inside out as if I were deeply connected to the organization already. Okay, so the second thing that I love to recommend people to do on their LinkedIn is to go through their network every so often. Just scroll through your connections and take note of who you haven't talked to lately, who you haven't seen in a long time. The thing is, if you don't see somebody for a while, they're totally going to forget about you. And it's not even like they forget you ever existed. Of course they know you exist. If you shook their hand tomorrow, they would be like, yeah, okay, I know you. In their day-to-day, they're not thinking of you. If you see them often, at least once a year, they'll start to think of you if something comes up that is perfectly in your wheelhouse. This worked really well for my tech company, which was a local-based business. I would sit down and have coffee with people who I knew were decision makers within my community and who I had some sort of connection with already, but we weren't connected enough to truly run into each other all the time. By reaching out on LinkedIn and saying, hey, let's have coffee, let's catch up, I was able to get in front of them and remind them of who I am. This technique also works on Facebook, so if you prefer Facebook, definitely use it. One little bonus here, if you're writing a blog and you're not syndicating it anywhere, you're basically yelling into a black hole. It's what I call a silo. You're not connected to anything at all around you, and that's not good. It's not good for SEO. It's also not good for visibility. LinkedIn is a great place to syndicate your blog. Here's how to do it. Remember I just mentioned that I used to own a tech company. It was a website management firm. We specialized in SEO, among other things. The thing about Google with social media, Google tends to know that we share our work onto social media, so it won't necessarily think that your work is a copyright infringement if you post it to social media. Here's the catch. You don't want to copy and paste your blog onto the LinkedIn Pulse, which is the blog syndication network on LinkedIn, right after you publish the blog. Google needs to know where the original is. So, finish your blog, post it to your website. Now mark on your calendar a week later to post it to the LinkedIn Pulse. But there's one step further. You actually don't want to post the whole entire blog post to the Pulse. Post only a third to half, maybe 250 words, a couple of paragraphs, with a read more on my website link at the bottom. If they want to know more and they want to understand more about you, they've got to click that button, they've got to go to your website, and that is where you have your lead generation and your programs. That's where the really strong moment is for you. The other cool thing about the LinkedIn Pulse is that when you post to it, it doesn't just syndicate to your connections on LinkedIn, it actually syndicates to every single LinkedIn person. Now, there are thousands and thousands of users, so no, not everybody's going to see it, but it gets into that wider network and you have a better chance of being seen. Now you are no longer a silo. That's what I've got for you today. I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon and we'll see you back here soon.
Oh, look who came to join us.
Entrepreneur Kitty, right? This is Turbo. He keeps me from going insane when I'm working from home. All the time.
Right.